What's up, guys? Welcome to Voicey here. This is your freshly haircutted host, Captain Zach, and today's subreddit is r/ChoosingBeggars. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. This story's called So, let me tell you about a woman that demanded to be paid for getting a free ride because there was a girl with cancer in the car. Backstory. This happened when I was studying at a university and living with my parents. Our village is located roughly an hour drive from a big city where most of our neighborhood work, including my mom, her nice friend in the IT department, and the choosing beggar, all employed by the same firm. There is a train to the city in the neighboring village, but it's a half-an-hour walk, so my mother would generally drive to work and I'd tag along whenever our schedules allowed it. Around 2 months before the story takes place, the choosing beggar realized she could ride to work and back home with my mom, and my mother being a generous person, she agreed to that, demanding no payment as it wasn't any major inconvenience for her and she was aware that choosing beggar was doing a low-salary job and had young kids at home. The nice IT friend, let's call her Anne, who was always taking a train home, asked my mother a few days beforehand if she and her daughter could ride home with her on Friday, as her daughter was going to be released from just a routine checkup at the hospital in the city. She also offered to take an early leave so that they'd be ready by the car, but my mom said they'd just go to the hospital together as it's only a 10-minute detour. Come Friday, and surprisingly, I finished my classes early and messaged my mom if I can tag along. My mom says yes, but at the same time explains quickly Anne's situation and that the car will be packed. No problem for me. 5 minutes to 5, I arrive at the parking and see choosing beggar waiting already. This woman must never work till the end of the shift. She sees me and gets visibly annoyed, saying something along the lines of, "Oh, and now this car is going to become a public bus for annoying teenagers." I was in my 20s and rather quiet in the car. I pretend I heard nothing and just wait patiently. 10 minutes later, my mom arrives with Anne and we drive towards the hospital. The checkout must have been busy as we wait for about 20 minutes, but it's fine with me and my mom as it's a special situation. However, the choosing beggar rants about waiting all the time, much to our annoyance. Anne finally shows up and we quickly realize that it was by no means just a checkup. Anne's daughter looks very frail and thin, face white, bald head covered with a scarf, barely holding up, clearly just released from chemotherapy. I immediately get off the front seat and go out to grab the daughter's luggage from Anne to place it in the trunk and let her take the front as I don't feel comfortable having her crammed up in the back. Choosing beggar is a rather large woman, not like that's anything bad, but there was hardly any room in the back with her and Anne in my mom's city car. Anne quietly thanks me and we roll back home, in relative silence as the daughter fell asleep immediately. We go to Anne's home first, just on the way, and they start leaving quickly. Anne's daughter throws up the moment she wakes up, getting some puke in the car and quickly starts apologizing. We say we don't mind. And there it starts. Anne takes out her wallet and gets a bill that had exchanged for around $60 and insists on paying my mom for both the ride and cleaning the car, which my mom quickly declines. However, at the same moment, the choosing beggar reaches for the money. For a moment, everything is silent and then the conversation goes like this. "I'll be taking it, thanks." "On what grounds?" "Well, we had to take this huge detour and I'll be like 40 minutes late at home." "Well, you would have been even later if you had taken the train. It's none of your concern." "I don't take any trains home. I always ride this car and I'm not just being late. This car has been ruined by Anne's daughter." "It's not even your car, and we don't mind." "I take it every day, so it's mine as well." "Bull crap! It's my mom's car and she decides what to do with it." "Anyways, daughter puked here in my close proximity. I'm surely entitled to some damages." "No, it's all right. I'm so sorry." She grabs the $60, puts it in my mother's handbag, and proceeds to take another banknote, around $25, and hands it to choosing beggar, who quickly pockets the money. "Heck, Anne, you shouldn't have given her a thing. She takes a ride with my mom daily and pays us nothing." "Oh, I thought she's paying for the fuel." "As she should have." "It doesn't matter. I take this car every day and now I'm covered in some sick girl's vomit. What if my kids catch what she's sick with?" Puke got nowhere near her. Daughter shouts in a very raspy voice, "I have a brain tumor. It's not contagious." That somehow managed to shut the choosing beggar up. My mom got out, took the daughter's luggage, and walked Anne and her daughter home, slipping the banknote she was given in their mailbox on her way back. She says nothing and drives straight to ChoosingBeggars' home. She'd normally leave her at the crossroad nearby and speaks for the first time in a while. I was driving you because it wasn't inconvenient for me, but it just became a large inconvenience. This partnership is done. I don't care if you take the train from now on, get your own car, or just quit your job. I will not be driving you anywhere unless you or your kids are dying. The $25 you were given for no reason should be enough for a week's worth of train tickets anyways. So enjoy. This car is mine and mine only. So get out now. After that, I hardly saw ChoosingBeggar at all. Hopefully she's never coming back into the picture, and my mom drives to work with Ann now, who, even if nobody asks her to, pays for the fuel. Ann's daughter is in remission now, so she's doing much better if you're curious. Have a good day, y'all. Sorry for the long post, I just had to tell the story to more people. And sorry if the English is not perfect. I'm not a native speaker. Oh, silly Redditor, the English are far from perfect. Yeah, America gang. I'm kidding. But yes, I'm sure we can all agree that ChoosingBeggar in this story is the scum of the earth. I'd rather scrape the slime from the underside of a barrel that's on a pirate ship that's been out on sea for like 6 months and stick it in my mouth, lick it clean, and swallow it all before I'd ever wish anything good upon ChoosingBeggar. Cancer and chemotherapy combined, not a nice combo. Alright, you're in constant discomfort, and that situation is uncomfortable for everyone. And if you make a cancer patient go through more discomfort than is needed, then you, my friend, are not my friend. Also, I'd like to say that the mother of the Redditor and the Redditor themselves, good people. It's nice when people go out of their way to help others. This story's called My Brother-in-Law, the Anti-Beggar. Backstory. This happened a few years ago, but I remember it well. My sister and her guy were living together and had a pond. He did not realize how terrible they are to clean and asked my brother and I to come help him clean it. It was a big pond, like 3 feet by 3 feet and 1 foot deep at least. And we told him it would take most of the day because we are absolutely not experts. Just to note, none of us mentioned money. We figured he was with our sister for so long that he was family, and he thought he was just gonna pay us what he felt was right. To the story. We go over on a regular Arizona summer day, so it was hot as hell. We realized he was out still, so we shrugged and got to it. About an hour or so in, he shows up with breakfast for himself and us. We joked for a few while we ate, then went back to work. He helped out and it was coming along nice until we found a massive centipede and we stopped to figure out how the frick do we move that thing. Then of course we dared each other to do dumb crap like grab it because we are guys. We finally get it out and move it to the bushes. When brother-in-law says he has to leave, hops in his car and is gone for another hour. Brother and I just keep at it, scrubbing the algae and gunk out, stopping occasionally to hide from the sun. Brother-in-law shows back up with lunch, expensive burgers, I don't remember from where, but they were divine. We eat and laugh about how well it was coming along, and brother-in-law goes inside for a hat. Brother and I joked that we made out like bandits because we just wanted a 12-pack and a pizza to help, and got 2 full meals. When brother-in-law comes back out, we finish the last 2 hours of sterilizing and prepping the thing for fish. He asks us to set up a cover to keep cats out, and we figure it out and start filing it. Brother-in-law disappears again and comes out with a wad of cash. This is where the weirdest fight of my life happens. Hey, thanks a ton, guys. That sucked ass, so I figured $1.50 each. Brother and I look at each other confused. You know, $150 for each of you. Not enough? Fine, $200, last offer. Dude, your family, we came over to hang out like we always do and help make a crappy job more fun. Besides, you fed our fat asses twice today. I think we're good. Right, so you can lord it over me later. No, take the cash. $200? Are you insane? Family, at least the parts we like, we help each other just to hang with them. The crappiest job can be fun with the right company. I will pay you. I do not do the favor game. I always lose there. Me seeing we were going nowhere, $20 total. It buys us dinner on the way home. That way you fed us all day. Brother looked at me and realized the same thing I did. It was more of a pride thing for brother-in-law, I think, and nodded his agreement. No, you worked all day and deserve more. You fed us and helped, man. $20 is fair enough. $100. $20 total. Take it or leave it. H, I don't want to rip you guys off. Brother and I both say done, grabbed our cash, and left very confused. Later that night, we found out from our sister that since he has money, no one, even his own family, will just help him. He has started to come around that we like him and help just to harass him while we work. However, he does fall back sometimes to the "this cannot be" mindset sometimes. Aw, those are the kinds of interactions I like to hear about. This story's called Choosing Beggar Calls the Cops When We Wouldn't Return Her Hair Straightener, 'Cause We Were Going Out of Business. Buckle up, guys, this is a pretty long and wild one. That's what she said. So this happened a while ago when I lived in Hawaii. Some backstory. I worked as a receptionist at a hair salon in the biggest mall on Oahu, and monthly rent for the store was about $8,000. So eventually the company just kind of folded, and we had a going out of business sale. On the very last day, we had 2 workers, the manager and the regional manager in the store to help. Everyone who came in to buy got told we were closing. All sales were final, and they got their receipt stamped with the big red "No Return All Sales Final" stamp. So enter the Choosing Beggar. Here's the cast. Me, regional manager and Choosing Beggar, and random person the Choosing Beggar dragged into this, and the Hawaii Police Department, the police officers. So Choosing Beggar wanders into the store and kinda looks around a little, makes a couple loops around. It wasn't a big store, like there was maybe 6 big shelves and the receptionist desk, and then kinda wanders aimlessly back, where the manager is sorting through product to make more markdowns. Choosing Beggar asks to look at the flat irons and curlers, so manager tells her that she's happy to help. She'll even take a few out of the boxes and let her test them since we're going out of business and there won't be any returns. So she wants to make sure she has the exact thing she wants. Now, I'm checking other people out 5 feet away, and I can hear and see them. Manager spends a good 30 to 40 minutes and repeatedly tells her that there will be no returns. She must have felt like this lady was going to cause trouble, because when Choosing Beggar has finally picked a straightener out, manager checked her out herself, but had me standing by to watch. So while she's doing the transaction, manager tells Choosing Beggar one more time that this sale is final and we won't accept any returns, and we're going out of business. Choosing Beggar agreed. Manager finishes the transaction, takes a receipt and stamps it with "Final sale, no returns accepted," and circles it. Choosing Beggar walks out of the store, apparently happy. Fast forward to about an hour later, and random person walks in, starts asking me about the sale and if it really is no returns. Now, I'd been working at this mall for a little, and I recognized this woman. She worked at one of the small mobile kiosks that sold the overpriced ceramic hair straighteners, so I wondered why she was in here asking about the hair straighteners. When she suddenly goes, "Well, I have a friend who just bought a hair straightener and she's not happy with it and wants to return it," I explained again that we couldn't accept returns, that the store would literally be closed the next day, and we were going out of business. Random person looked a bit deflated and goes, "Well, she's not really my friend. I work at this kiosk and she came by and said you guys were being really mean and wouldn't let her return the straightener." So at this point, manager hears this and realizes it was Choosing Beggar she was talking about, and comes over to explain that she spent nearly an hour helping this woman and told her several times it was final sale. So random person wanders out, and about 15 minutes later, Choosing Beggar wanders back in. "I want to return the straightener." "I'm sorry, but as I told you before, all sales are final today." "I just bought it today. I still have the receipt." Here, she flashes the receipt with the final sale stamped on it. "So you should be able to return it." "No, I'm sorry, but I can't do any returns today. All sales are final and it clearly says so on your receipt." "No, that's not fair. You have to return it. That's the law." On the back of the receipt, it says I have 30 days for a full refund. They go back and forth for a minute or two more, then Choosing Beggar huffs out of the store, stands outside and makes a phone call. Manager and I think nothing of it until 2 Hawaii PD officers show up, and Choosing Beggar starts gesturing angrily towards us. Police officers just must have immediately realized what had happened, since she showed them the straightener and the receipt, but they came in to talk to the manager anyways. At this point, manager is so angry and frustrated. Manager explained the situation, and the police officers just shook their heads and went back outside. I left work shortly after that, but they were still outside, with police officers lecturing her about calling the police over a hair straightener.
"Hello everyone, this is Geezer Zach here. Oh, I'm just stepping in to give a little life lesson here. Sometimes all sales final is a good thing, and in this case it's a great thing because an obviously stupid woman needs that hair straightener to straighten out her attitude.
Thank you, Geezer Zach. I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, maybe I could have because, I don't have old people speaking problems, but what are you gonna do about it? This story's called Real Estate Agent Doesn't Want to Pay My Rate for Pictures. This happened a few years ago. I just photographed a home for an agent I'd worked with a couple of times before and who'd always jokingly, I thought, complained about what I charged. At the time, I was actually cheaper than most other photographers around here, mainly due to relocation and not knowing this market as well. So I tell her what to write the check for and she says, "That's too much," and writes me a check for 50% of what I just told her. I said that wasn't enough and she said, "That's what other photographer would charge," and I knew that was patently false. So I went home and processed the pictures. And in the middle of every picture, I put a black box that covered exactly 50% of the picture. Then I sent them to her. "What's wrong with these pictures?" "You paid 50%, you get 50%. She PayPal'd me the other 50%. I haven't heard from her since. Weird. That's annoying. You don't get to decide the price of labor. Okay, the laborer gets to decide. And if you don't want to pay that much, then you don't have to hire them. And if there are other people cheaper and they don't want to lower their price, then just go there instead of, wasting everyone's time." This guy's solution was really creative. You gotta admire that. It's funny. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.